When my son told me I wasn't welcome at his house for Christmas, I didn't argue. I smiled, walked out in my truck, and made one phone call. By New Year's, their mortgage was gone, and that was just the first move in my plan. Arrogance had to be humbled, and justice demanded it. You won't believe what happened next. Before I go on, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments where you're listening from. I could make my turkey this year, I said, sinking back into Michael's leather couch. The one with the sage stuffing your mother always said was better than her grandmother's. My words drifted through the air, mixing with the scent of Isabella's fancy vanilla candles. Michael shifted, his wedding ring catching the light from the massive Christmas tree in the corner. His shoulders curled and like he was bracing for bad news. Dad, you're not invited for Christmas this year. It landed like a punch to the gut. I stared at him, certain I'd heard wrong. What do you mean? He wouldn't meet my eyes. Isabella's parents are coming. They'd rather you not be here. They'd rather? It's just easier this way. You know how her family is about traditions. They do things differently. His voice shrank with every word. I glanced around the room. At the silk curtains I'd paid for when Isabella complained about privacy, the hardwood floors I'd funded with a second mortgage, the crown molding that maxed out my credit card. My fingerprints were on every inch of this house, bought with sacrifice and love. And what way is that, Michael? I asked slowly. Dad, please don't make this harder. Through the kitchen archway, I spotted Isabella's professional-grade mixer, the $2,000 one I'd bought for her 3-week baking phase. Where would I spend Christmas then? Maybe visit Aunt Rosa? Or we could do something the weekend after, he said. The weekend after. Like Christmas was just another meeting that could be moved around. I stood, my knees aching after years of carrying this family. I see. Dad, wait. But I was already walking toward the door, past the family photos where my face grew smaller in each frame, past the closet packed with Isabella's jackets. My hand closed around the cold doorknob. Tell Isabella's parents, I said without turning, Feliz Navidad. The December air slapped my face as I walked to my truck. Behind me, Michael called my name once before the soft click of the door shut me out for good. I sat in the driver's seat, engine off, staring at the warm glow of the house I'd bought, but never belonged in. My phone buzzed, probably Michael, but I didn't answer. I turned the key and drove into the night. South Hills rolled past in the dark. Every street corner reminded me of the man I used to be, the man who believed family meant everything. That man was gone. A red light stopped me at 29th and Grand. A young father loaded gifts into his SUV while his kids pressed their faces against the fog glass. That used to be Michael and me, before Isabella, before I became just an ATM with feelings. The numbers flashed in my head. $2,800 a month for 5 years. $140,000 in total. More than Maria and I had saved for retirement. Gone. 5th Street loomed ahead, where I'd refinanced my own home to cover their down payment. I remembered the loan officer's look of pity. Are you sure? You're risking a lot for someone else's investment. Not my son's future. Not my family's security. Someone else's investment. The road back from Lincoln Street felt longer than usual, the winter sky heavy and low. My tires crunched over the frosted driveway, and the cracks in the concrete glared at me like reminders of every penny I'd funneled away from my own life. I stepped out into cold, pulled my coat tighter, and stared up at the flickering porch light, a tiny thing I'd been meaning to fix for years, just like I'd been meaning to put myself first. Inside, the air felt still. No Maria humming in the kitchen. No warmth from the holiday chaos that used to fill these walls. I'd almost made it to the bedroom when my phone rang. Isabella. Her name lit up my screen like a warning sign. I let it buzz 3 times before answering, just long enough to make her wonder if I would. Dennis, she said, voice dripping with artificial sweetness, the same tone she used when asking me to cover her parents' utilities or help out with property taxes. I heard about the little misunderstanding with Michael. Misunderstanding. I leaned against the counter, keeping my coat on. I think you made your position crystal clear. She sighed, that long-suffering sigh of someone who thinks they're the reasonable one. You have to understand, my parents are very traditional. They like a certain atmosphere during the holidays. I almost laughed. A certain atmosphere? What kind is that exactly? There was a pause. I heard the faint rustle of shopping bags. Probably a new handbag or designer boots bought with money she claimed they didn't have. They're not used to your kind of cooking. All that spicy Mexican food, the loud music, and dentists, they're educated people. They like conversations about literature, politics, art. It landed like a punch I'd been expecting, but still hoped wouldn't come. My kind of cooking, I repeated slowly. You mean the tamales you devoured every Sunday for 3 years? The same ones you said tasted like your grandmother's? That was different, she said quickly. We were appreciative then, but now with your parents, I cut in. You can't have a Mexican peasant embarrassing you at your fancy dinner table. The sugar in her voice evaporated. Don't be dramatic. This isn't about race. It's about class. My father graduated summa cum laude from Washington State. My mother speaks 4 languages. They summer in the Hamptons. What exactly would you contribute to dinner conversation? Stories about laying tile? My jaw tightened, but my voice stayed calm. I built a company from nothing. I've given over 50 people jobs. I've paid more in taxes than your father ever made in a single year. She snorted softly. Money isn't everything, Dennis. Breeding matters. Education matters. And frankly, Maria understood her place better than you do. The world stopped. I didn't even know there was a line to cross until she stomped across it in her designer heels. What did you just say about my wife? I'm just saying, she knew how to blend in. She didn't make waves. She knew certain spaces weren't meant for her. I could feel the blood pounding in my ears. Maria had more grace in her little finger than your entire bloodline combined. Oh, please. She was a house cleaner who got lucky. At least she stayed quiet about it. Something in me shifted. My voice dropped to something low, sharp, and unshakable. Listen to me, Isabella. This conversation is over. We're done pretending to be family. You can't just... We're done, I repeated and hung up. The phone felt heavy in my palm, but my hands were steady for the first time in years. Steady. I walked to my desk, pulled out the manila folder I'd been avoiding. Bank statements, mortgage papers, 5 years of automatic transfers that had bled me dry. It was time to stop the bleeding. The numbers on the paper didn't just tell a story. They screamed it. Cold, black ink on white. Listing every month I'd been bleeding myself dry for people who saw me as little more than a wallet with a pulse. $2,800 every single month for 60 months. The total sat there at the bottom like a slap in the face. $143,400. I traced the last digit with my finger, feeling my stomach tighten. That was more than my first house cost. More than I'd ever set aside for my own retirement. More than I'd spent raising my own son. And for what? For gratitude that never came? For a seat at a table I was never welcome at? My eyes drifted up to the old family photo hanging above the desk. Maria and I on our anniversary trip to the coast. The wind had been wild that day, her hair whipping across her face as she laughed. She used to say the ocean didn't ask you to be anything but yourself. That's when I knew what I had to do. I grabbed my phone and dialed the bank. My thumb hovered over the call button for just a second, long enough for that old voice in my head to whisper, maybe they'll change. Maybe this year will be different. But it wouldn't. And deep down, I'd known it for a long time. Customer service, this is Jennifer. How can I help you today? I need to cancel an automatic transfer. I said, steady. It's overdue. I could hear her typing. All right, let's pull that up. I see it here. $2,800 monthly to Wells Fargo. Account ending in 7423. How long have you been making this transfer? 5 years, I said, my voice tightening on the last word. Okay, and you'd like to stop this immediately? I looked around my kitchen. The chipped laminate counter I'd been meaning to replace. The fridge that rattled when it ran too long. The drafty window I covered with a blanket last winter because fixing it was too expensive. Yes, I said. Immediately, there was a faint click of keys. All right, sir, it's canceled. Is there anything else I can help you with? A smile crept in. No, that's everything. But it wasn't everything. Not yet. When I hung up, I opened my laptop and logged into every account connected to them. The streaming services I'd set up under my name, but they used the shared credit card that I'd been spotting them with, even the Costco membership I paid for but rarely used. Click, cancel, confirm, one by one, like cutting ropes from a ship that had been dragging me under. Then came the letter. Not an email, not a text, a real printed letter in an envelope. Something they couldn't delete. Something they have a hold in their own hands. I kept it short. Effective immediately, all financial assistance from me has ended. There will be no discussion, no negotiation, and no reconsideration. You have taken more than your share, and I will not fund your lifestyle another day. Consider this my final act of generosity. I am walking away without asking for repayment. Do not contact me again. No signature flourish, no PS. Just my name in neat block letters at the bottom. I drove to the post office the next morning, the kind of crisp December day where the air bites your nose and smells faintly with smoke. Dropping that envelope into the blue mailbox felt heavier than I expected, not because it was hard, but because it was final. A week later, my phone lit up with Isabella's name. I let it ring. Then again. Each time, I watched it buzz on the counter until it stopped. No more explanations. No more apologies. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was peaceful. Sometimes, the hardest goodbye is the one you should have said years ago. We spend so much of our lives trying to earn a place in other people's stories, when maybe the real victory is finally writing our own. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever had to walk away for your own peace, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more real stories about family, sacrifice, and finding your strength, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because sometimes the right story at the right time can change everything.